everyone. We are Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
And today we're going to talk about Batman, Vince.
Again?
Yes, again. We had a lot of questions about a couple of major things, so we thought we'd roll it all into one video and express our opinions on these couple of major developments. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about Dark Knight Rises. What do you think of that title?
See, I started thinking maybe Batman's riding an elevator. Or maybe Batman somehow turned into heat. He's trapped in a hot air balloon.
No, but really.
No, really. Has he turned into heat?
Right.
That'd be like a cool weapon or something.
Anyway, when Batman Begins came out, I was making a lot of jokes, and I've said this before, but I was making a lot of jokes about what the sequel would be called, because I just thought the idea of I just thought the title Batman Begins was hokey when the movie first came out. After it was a really great movie, I didn't really think about it anymore. I didn't really care. But like when we first found out the title Batman Begins, I was like, wow, what's the second movie going to be called? Batman Continues. Batman Keeps Going. Batman Goes Out for a Latte. Like
Batman
we have to
choose go.
and he walks at the same time.
He's multi-talent. I think he has a gadget for that.
And so I just I thought the idea of like these completely sentence titles was kind of amusing, and then they broke that with The Dark Knight, and now they're going back to it with The Dark Knight Rises, and I can't help but feel, Vince, that part of this, and let me just say that I'll make no bones about this, I don't love the title. It's not terrible, but I don't love it, and I really feel like part of it is just Dark Knight. It's so huge that the studio feels like it's got to have Dark Knight in the title.
You know, I think maybe, just possibly, they're going to have it tie into the movie somehow. I mean, maybe it's going to be Batman's ascension from his becoming a pariah at the end of the first movie or the second movie. So.
Yeah, I've got no doubt that Nolan will make this an apt title. He's all about that. The first movie was a giant complex origin story about Batman. It was called Batman Begins. The second one was The Dark Knight, and that dealt very much thematically throughout the entire film. So he'll make this tie in very much to his next movie, I'm sure. But you really, or at least personally, I gotta wonder if that wasn't somewhat mandated by the studio.
You know, I do not doubt that. I mean, it has to have been. The studio jumps in and says, "Oh, Dark Knight. Nobody's going to see it if they don't know it's a Dark Knight movie." And
that's silly because that movie did so huge. I think you could call it anything you wanted to, and people are going to go see it, right? As soon as they see Christian Bale in a batsuit, they're going to know that this is the sequel to Dark Knight.
Dark Knight walks further.
Now, naturally, a lot of people didn't see Batman Begins before they saw Dark Knight, and even the people that did, a lot of people even didn't even think of Dark Knight as a sequel because it was, such a giant cultural phenomenon. I've never seen that happen before. A sequel that people don't really even act like it's a sequel. That totally happened with that movie, but I think that it did so well, you're not going to have that problem with the third one. You know what I mean? People are going to go to it no matter what you call it. So, I don't know. There were a lot of other better contenders for the title. You know what I mean? I heard people kicking around Gotham City as a title. And I mean, these are fans, but I mean, I heard people saying, wouldn't it be cool if Gotham City was the title? Or Shadow of the Bat. I was a big proponent for that. I thought that would have been a great title.
I wanted to see Batman Land.
So, anyway, and then the other big thing about Dark Knight Rises is just the fact that Riddler won't be in it, which I'm not extremely surprised by. For a while, that was the giant rumor for a year and a half, and for a while, I think IMDb even had Riddler on its page as if it was official, and then it turned out that it wasn't.
I'm curious as to if everybody expected Riddler to be in it, therefore Nolan decided Riddler would not be in it. Say, I'm going to break your expectations, I'm going to do something different.
I wouldn't put it past him because he's got a lot of integrity as a director and he likes to challenge people, and so and the other thing too is he may have also just thought. I mean, I don't think that he would be mean enough to say this is what the fans want, so I'm going to do something different. But on the other hand, it might have just been I know everybody wants the Riddler, but I don't have a story to tell with the Riddler, and that's part of the reason that we're having such a long gap between the two movies is because he wasn't going to start making a movie until he had a story to tell, which is part of his integrity as a director. That's wonderful. He wasn't just going to make a movie on the heels of the of the huge money that Dark Knight did, just because the studio wanted him to.
I mean, that's the reason that Dark Knight did so well, is because it was a good movie.
Yeah.
It was a great movie.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's what's going on there. So then let's go on then to comics and talk about Batman Inc. for a minute. And we just quick background in case you're not aware what's going on. The Batman universe is about to change hugely and probably change forever. With what's happening this month, starting in this last issue of Batman and Robin, and then going up into the 17th when we get the first issue of Batman Inc. and also the last issue of Return of Bruce Wayne. And in a spoiler warning quickly for Batman and Robin, last week in Batman and Robin, and you haven't been keeping up with this stuff, right?
No.
But you're a Batman fan, so you'll have opinions on this. So Batman and Robin number 16. I mean, you kind of know things, but you haven't been reading, right?
Yeah.
So Batman and Robin 16. At the end of it, Batman, Bruce Wayne is back, and he comes out at the end after all the big things have been solved from the story arc that's been building. He comes out at the end and has a big press conference and says. Says to everyone on television that he has been secretly funding Batman for years.
See, that bothers me.
Does it?
Yeah, because basically he's just painted a huge target on Wayne Industries. Every criminal that's ever been after Batman is now going to be after Wayne Industries, and it's not like Wayne Industries is
Enterprises.
Wayne Enterprises. Wayne stock.
Oh, who cares? I'm just messing with you.
Wayne-atron 5000. But Wayne Enterprises.
Right.
I mean, every criminal that was after Batman will be after Wayne Enterprises. Wayne Industries. But
yeah. I mean, it seems to me like I was on the fence about this because you come out and tell everybody that you make this thing up about funding Batman. It's not too far removed from saying you are Batman.
I mean, Ra's al Ghul in the comics just used logic to figure out who he was in Gotham. Is that, well, it has to be Bruce Wayne. That's who Batman is.
Because it couldn't be anyone else.
And then he goes and he does it. And, oh, yeah, you are Batman. So, what's going to stop a person from saying, wait, look at Wayne. He's a stout, fit young lad of, 40. But he's still, this guy looks like he can kick some butt.
I don't know exactly how old he is in the comics right now, but yeah. It's not necessarily awful. I think it's going to make for really interesting stories. Okay, so don't get me wrong. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to read, but it'll never be the same again. Like it'll be impossible to tell traditional Batman stories without doing background stories and.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
It's interesting that he went out on television and said this, but I think maybe this is. It seems like a stupid move to me. It seems like Wayne is not... It seems a little out of character, like he hadn't thought this through. No, maybe my assumption of Batman is that he's the uber mind here, and that he's just one of the smartest cats.
See, I doubt that's the case though, because I mean, Morrison has a good sense of who Batman is, and we don't know all of his motivations for this yet. Because the way Morrison likes to tell stories, sometimes a little bit like Lost told stories, where he'll have one thing happen before you actually have all the background information. And I mean, we don't know exactly everything about how he got back yet, from being stuck in the past and all of that. So we don't even know everything that led up to this decision, man. So I'm holding out,
Well, I'm just thinking that there's no way that Wayne Industries can be prepared for the Wayne Enterprises. There's no way that Wayne's company can be set up for this onslaught that's about to fall on them. And if there is no onslaught, then I think that somebody
You'd be surprised by that.
Yeah, I'd say that it would defy logic to say that nobody would attack Wayne Enterprises.
Well, how do you feel, though, just about the idea of getting past that for a minute? Because we'll see how it goes. I mean, if nothing else, it's going to be interesting to read. But what do you think about the idea of just multiple people in the Batsuit, about Batman franchising out Batman?
I think that's interesting. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be strange if it gets into other people's books and suddenly we're reading, say, Red Robin and he's dressed like Batman.
Yeah, I think it would be really cool if you had people being both their normal character and Batman. You know what I mean? Like sometimes he's Red Robin, sometimes he's Batman. I think it would have been even kind of cool if they did that with Nightwing, but they won't. I mean, Dick Grayson. See, that's part of the thing I don't like about this is too many Bat books.
Batman and X-Men have something in common. They both have man or man at the end.
Batman is going to be, Dick Grayson is going to be Batman in 3 titles. And Bruce Wayne is going to be Batman in only a couple of titles, as far as I'm aware. And it's just it's really odd. It's like we've had Dick Grayson as Batman for a year and a half, and it was interesting while Bruce Wayne was gone. But like, I don't care enough about reading Dick Grayson all the time to see him continue being Batman personally. I mean, it's not like I ever read Nightwing or anything, and it's the same character.
Well, I think it would be interesting to see Nightwing, Dick Grayson as Batman, while the real Batman's back.
Well, we're going to get that.
Batman's
back. I'm sorry, what was that about Pac-Man? But we're already going to get that with Batman Inc. because that book is going to be multiple people in the Batsuits. So, like, I'm not sure it makes sense for Batman to be Dick Grayson. I mean, for the main Batman title. Well, it won't even hardly be the main Batman title anymore. But I mean, like, you know, the title that's called Batman will be Dick Grayson. The title called Detective Comics will be Dick Grayson. I think it's kind of wrong for Detective Comics with Bruce Wayne around to not have Bruce Wayne in it. He's a detective, right?
Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
So, I don't know. That's
Dick
weird.
Grayson's a detective in a way.
Yeah, but he ain't the world's greatest detective.
Yeah.
You can't both have that title.
And Bucky Barnes can't really be Captain America in my mind, but
okay, fair enough.
He is.
We'll see how long this goes. I mean, I'm assuming this kind of thing isn't going to happen forever. You know what I mean? But at the same time, once Bruce Wayne has come out and said this, that changes the universe. Yeah. No matter what else they do, that changes everything.
I mean, look at Daredevil. They outed his identity, and every book has been completely different since. I mean, you make this ridiculously hard to write. Bendis at one point said the job of a comic book writer is to, write good stories, but to write something that makes it really difficult for the guy following you. That seems cruel to me.
Yeah, a little bit, because the problem is you don't want to do that to the fans if it's bad.
Yeah.
You know? And so I'm not begrudging Morrison too much for doing this until I see how it goes. And yet, I mean, Batman has been pretty much the same thing since, the beginning of time. I mean, there have been a lot of different ways of writing Batman. I kind of want to get into that. But, I mean, he's always had a secret identity. He's always had his Batcave. You know what I mean? Like there have been certain things that have always been the same, and now that's going to be a little bit different.
I mean, even if this story is fantastic, there's still a potential that it could ruin the universe for anybody that comes after him.
But we'll see. On the other hand, I'm not sure I would ever want to see some kind of a time paradox or One More Day or something terrible like that to happen. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Terrible for the character or terrible for the readers?
No, I just mean that One More Day was terrible. But I'm just saying, like I'm not sure that I would want to see the universe, be changed through some kind of contrivance just so that we can tell traditional Batman stories again. So it's pushing envelopes, and I'm always a proponent of that. But at the same time, it's going to be it's hard to tell if people will be able to write this as well afterwards.
You heard it here. Pushing envelopes. Batman's working in a mailroom.
Well, on that note, thanks a lot for watching, and let us know what you think about this or about Dark Knight Rises. I'm sure everybody's got their own opinion on this, and we'd love to know what you think. And also, if you have an idea for something we might talk about in the future, leave that in the comments as well. And if you're ever in the Kansas City area, check out Pop Culture Comics on 87th Street in Overland Park, Kansas. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince, reminding you to support your local comic book store.
Thanks a lot.